Hi everyone, my name is Jen and this is Beast Houseplants, where we talk about things houseplant and home design. Welcome back. I am so excited to be starting a new series today called the Houseplant Alphabet. So this series is going to be a meet some of my houseplants type of series with a theme, because themes are fun, and also the theme will force me to show you some plants that are not often showcased on my channel. I think it's very obvious which plants are my favorite plants because they show up in videos constantly. So this way I'm forced to branch out a little bit and show you more of my collection. Just a little bit of a disclaimer before we begin that this by no means is supposed to be a definitive care guide about a plant. I'm just going to be sharing with you my experience with the plant and how it's currently being grown in my home and my environment. I am not a plant expert or a botanist at all. I just have a lot of plants. I also very strongly believe that plant care is flexible. Alright, without further ado, let's get into today's plant, which is for Aglaonema Chocolate! If you've been watching my channel for quite some time now, you'll know that I absolutely love Aglaonemas, especially this cultivar, the Aglaonema Chocolate. I feel like no one ever talks about this plant, so that's why I talk about it so often, because just look at it. So the variegation pattern on the front of the leaf is kind of camo-y, very similar to the Aglaonema pictum tricolor, except for it doesn't have white. And then it also has the cool pink veining. And then the back side of the leaf, or the baxil side, is a deep red color with the same pink veining. It looks so cool. I first saw a photo of this plant on Winter Morgan's Instagram page and was determined to get my hands on it. I have, since acquiring this plant, have had a lot of people send me photos of them finding the Aglaonema Chocolate in big box stores, so I definitely do think it is an accessible plant. I, however, have never seen it sold at a big box store, but I do live in California and I've never seen it sold at any of my local nurseries, but I definitely don't think it's like a rare, hard or uncommon or hard to find plant or anything like that. I did acquire this through a trade, and I do have a video of me unboxing this and talking about how to safely do plant trades. I'll make sure to link it right here. Okay, so let's talk about lighting. So Aglaonemas in general can tolerate a little bit of a lower light condition. My brother has an Aglaonema Red King in his north-facing window, and it puts out new leaves all the time. However, his leaf size has started to sort of decrease over time just because it's not receiving that much light. So if you want your plant to thrive and grow quicker and, you know, become bigger, you do want to pop that under a little bit of a brighter light condition. I have my Aglaonema Chocolate growing under a grow light, the Sansi grow bulb. I believe the one I have is the 25-watt one, but I'll make sure to link it down in the description below, the exact one that I have. I have it currently about 12 inches away from the plant, and I consider that to be bright indirect light. It absolutely loves it. I have noticed that it does grow a little bit quicker in the spring and summertime, but now that it's steadily become more colder in California, it still looks healthy, hasn't dropped any leaves since. So yeah. Okay, so in terms of watering, I have my Aglaonema Chocolate currently being potted up in Leca. It's been potted up in Leca since April of this year, and it took it like a champ. It didn't have any acclimatization issues at all when I transferred it, and because it's in Leca, I don't keep a watering schedule for my Leca plants. Once a week or so, I go ahead and just top the reservoir up to about a third of the way, and I'm currently flushing twice a week with Leca. If you have any questions about passive hydroponics or Leca, I have a whole series dedicated to that. So before I transferred this into Leca, it was in soil, and it did have a teeny tiny bit of root rot right before I transferred it. So I definitely don't think that they do very, very well with over watering. However, they are quite drought tolerant. My brother is the opposite of me. He is a chronic underwaterer, and his Aglaonema I potted up in a slightly more water retentive mix. I use the same base as all of my other houseplants, which I have videos on that, but I just used significantly less orchid bark, especially since I wouldn't call these roots chunky. They're definitely not like Monstera chunky, so a little bit more of a water retentive mixture is good if you are not an overwaterer like me. So in terms of humidity, I don't give this plant anything special at all. It's currently on my plant shelf, so it doesn't get any extra humidity. It's just being grown in ambient room humidity, which for me here in California is about a 50 or so. Recently it has dropped down to more like the 30 range with the colder weather, but I don't think that this plant is fussy at all about humidity. Okay, so in terms of propagation, the most common method of propagation for Aglaonemas is via stem cuttings. So the plant definitely does grow kind of similar to how a Dracaena grows, which is as it grows taller, it starts to lose the bottom leaves, leaving kind of a woodier stem look, which definitely can be super, super cool. I might chop this plant to propagate in the springtime just to give it a little bit more of a compact look, since I do only have one stem of this plant right now, and I do generally like my plants to look a little bit fuller. So if I end up doing that in the springtime, I'll definitely make sure to make a video about it. But what I would do is I would just chop it in a stem in between the nodes. So the nodes on this one are quite visible, so I don't think you have any issues identifying that. The nodes would just be where each of the bumps are. So I would just cut in the internode, and I would likely just put it in some water to do water propagation with this. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. If you have an Aglaonema chocolate or you get an Aglaonema chocolate, send me a photo on Instagram. I love it when people do that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!